What if I told you that someone once claimed to have traveled through time? It sounds like a wild plot from a sci-fi movie, right? But this is exactly what happened in 2003, when a man named Andrew Carlson was arrested by the FBI. His crime? Turning $800 into $350 million in just 2 weeks by investing in the stock market. The authorities suspected insider trading, but Carlson had a different explanation. He said he was a time traveler from 250 years in the future. He even claimed to know exactly how the market would perform because, well, he'd lived through it already. A mind-blowing confession, isn't it? Yet, there was no record of Carlson before 2002. And the most curious part? On the day of his bail hearing, he mysteriously disappeared, never to be seen again. Was Carlson truly a time traveler? Could it be possible for someone to hop through time as we see in movies? Or was this just an elaborate hoax? Let's break down the science behind time travel and explore what's fiction and what might actually be possible. The science of time travel. To really get a grip on this, we need to start with the basics, Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. You see, before Einstein, most people thought of time as something constant, like a steady river flowing at the same rate everywhere in the universe. But Einstein shattered that notion. He introduced us to the idea of time dilation, where time doesn't flow the same for everyone. Time can slow down or speed up depending on how fast you're moving or how close you are to a massive object like a planet or a black hole. Imagine you're in a spaceship flying at an incredible speed, near the speed of light. Back on Earth, everyone's aging normally. But for you, time is slowing down. When you come back after what feels like 10 years to you, you might find that thousands of years have passed on Earth. This isn't just theoretical either. It's been tested in small ways, like the Haffel-Keating experiment, where atomic clocks were flown around the world in planes. The clocks on the planes ticked a little slower than the ones on the ground, proving time dilation in action. Ways to travel to the future that actually work. So, is traveling to the future really possible? Absolutely. If we can figure out how to move fast enough. The faster you move, the slower time passes for you. If we could build a spacecraft capable of reaching close to the speed of light, we could, in theory, travel into the future. But for now, the fastest speed humans have traveled is 28,000 kilometers per hour, which was achieved by Russian astronaut Gennady Padalka. Over the 879 days he spent in space, he technically time-traveled by 0.02 seconds into the future. It may not sound impressive, but it proves that the concept is real. In the future, as technology advances, we might even be able to develop spacecraft that could take us on long voyages where we'd experience far less aging than those on Earth. Another fascinating way to travel to the future is through gravity. The more massive an object, the more it warps space and time around it. Get close enough to a huge object like a black hole, and time will slow down for you relative to someone further away. This concept was depicted quite accurately in Christopher Nolan's movie Interstellar. In the film, 1 hour spent on a planet near a black hole equates to 7 years back on Earth. A mind-bending but scientifically valid idea. Cryosleep. Time travel's cousin? There's also the idea of cryosleep, putting people in a state of deep hibernation where their body functions slow down significantly. NASA is actually working on something like this, called a stasis chamber, which would allow astronauts to sleep for long periods during deep space travel. The idea is to cool the body enough to slow down aging and metabolism without causing harm, effectively pausing someone's journey through time. It's not quite time travel, but it's getting there. The big question: can we travel to the past? While traveling to the future seems scientifically feasible, traveling to the past is a whole different beast. Theoretically, Einstein's relativity allows for the possibility of backward time travel through something called wormholes. These are like shortcuts through space and time, potentially allowing someone to jump between 2 points instantly. The problem? We've never seen a stable, usable wormhole, and even if we did, the energy required to keep it open might be impossible to harness. There's also the issue of paradoxes. Imagine you go back in time and accidentally stop your grandparents from meeting. How could you exist to go back in time if you prevented your own birth? This is known as the grandfather paradox, and it's one of the many logical headaches that come with the idea of backward time travel. Some scientists believe that traveling to the past could create alternate timelines or parallel universes, a concept explored in movies like Avengers Endgame. But right now, it's all just speculation. The truth about Andrew Carlson. Now, back to Andrew Carlson, the man who claimed to be a time traveler. Was his story true? Unfortunately, no. It turns out that the entire tale was fabricated by a satirical newspaper called the Weekly World News. It was a prank that got picked up by legitimate news outlets, and before long, the world was hooked on the idea of a real-life time traveler who disappeared without a trace. But in the end, it was just a good story. Conclusion. So, is time travel possible? The answer is yes and no. We can travel to the future. Science has already proven that. But traveling to the past? That's a much tougher nut to crack, with paradoxes and theoretical limits standing in the way. Still, the idea of time travel continues to captivate our imaginations, and who knows? With advancements in technology, the future might hold even more surprises. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.